Hello, good day, one. Hello, have a great day. I am here once again, your teacher Joy, and welcome to our Techno class. In connection to your topic about the measures of position of group data, now let me give you the group data for finding the central tendency. We won't start the day without these three objectives. First, identify the essential values using the tabulated data. Second, compute for the measures of the central tendency. And third, describe the data using the measures of central tendency. Before beginning today's lesson, please identify the type of measure of central tendency indicated for each statement. Try to recall what you have learned recently. First, it is a central tendency that is strongly affected at the extremities of scores in data distribution. What it is? Yes, it is a mean. Second, this is a central tendency which is used if you want to determine the most popular vaccine for coronavirus here in the Philippines. Very good. So that is called a mode. Okay, last, it is a measure of central tendency which indicates the middle score of the students by taking the mathematics test. Excellent, okay? Because the answer is median. Now let me give you the mean as one of the measures of central tendency. It represents the average value of the data set. So this time around, we are going to use the group data. It can be calculated as the sum of all the values in the data set divided by the number of values. The symbol used for the sample mean is X bar. Did you see the letter X with a bar? And the mu, which is a 12 letter in a Greek alphabet that represents the population mean. So we have the formula for the group data, the summation of the product between the midpoint and the frequency divided by n, where n represents the population. Okay, so we have here an example. The table below shows deposited amounts for ID. So the table contains class intervals, frequencies, midpoints, and the product between the midpoints and the frequencies. So let's start fill in the column of midpoint. So you simply add the lower class limit to the upper class limit and then divided by 2 of each class interval. So we have 13,500 plus 16,049 divided by 2, and then you get the quotient, or that you have to simplify. Okay, next, 10,950 plus 13,499 divided by 2 is equal to 12,224.50, and then that goes the same with the remaining class intervals. Okay, for the midpoints, we have 9,674.5, 7,124.5 or 50, 4,574.50 or 0.5, and 2,024.50. And then let's move to the product between the midpoint and frequency. Okay, so you simply multiply the midpoint and frequency of each class interval. So 14,774.5 times 1, which is equal to 14,774.5. Okay, and then let's move to the second class interval, 12,224.5 multiplies by 2, and then 12,225.5 times 2 is equal to 24,449. That goes the same with the remaining class intervals. Okay, so we have 19,349, 21,373.5, 9,149, 20,245. Okay, so try to get your calculator to confirm all the answers. Okay, try to verify if you came up with the same values. Okay, and then you add, okay, and add or get the summation of all the product between the midpoint and frequency, okay, for each class interval. 14,774.50 plus 24,449 plus 19,349 plus 21,373.50 plus 9,149 plus 20,245. Okay, so that give us a sum of 109,340. And then you have to divide this sum by 20, okay, as the number of population, 5. Okay, so what's the meaning of this? Okay, so this means that the average deposited amount in a bank for a day is 5,457 pesos. Okay, did you get it? Okay, so let's move to the other measure of central tendency. Median is the value separating the lower half from the upper half of a data set or a population or even the probability. So the way we compute the median of a data set is also the same on how we compute for the second quartile, 5th decile, or 50th percentile of the group data. Let us solve for the median using the second quartiles formula, and in this table that contains the class intervals, frequencies, lesson cumulative frequencies, and the lower boundaries are all essential values needed in the equation. So once again, the equation is Q sub 2 is equal to LB plus the quantity of Kn over 4 minus the cumulative frequency before or over the frequency where the second quartile is located, and then multiply the quotient to the interval. So our K is 2, N is 20, and Kn over 4, which is our locator, is equal to 10. So this means that the median of this data is found in this class interval. So we have the cumulative frequency before, which is equal to 0, and then the frequency where the second quartile is located is 10, and the lower boundary is equal to 749.5, and I is equal to 2,550. And then plug in or substitute all the values into the equation. So we have Q sub 2 is equal to 749.50 plus the quantity of 10 minus 0 all over 10 times 2,550. Okay, so by simplification, we have 749.50 plus 2,550 is equal to 3,299.50 pesos. Okay, so what does it mean? It implies that 50% and below of the deposited amount in a bank is equal to 3,299.50 pesos. Now let us compute for the last measure of central tendency, which is the mode, and we have the formula to be used, that is LB plus the quantity of df sub B all over df sub B plus df sub A times the I, where LB stands for the lower boundary where the most frequent value or score lies. df sub B is the difference of the most frequent value and the frequency below it. df sub A is the difference of the most frequent value and the frequency above it, and I is the class interval. Using the same table, so we have to look for the most frequent value, which is equal to 10. And then this means that the most frequent value lies between 750 to 3,299. So we have the lower boundary, which is equal to 749.50. And for the difference of the most frequent value and the frequency below it is equal to 10, you simply subtract 10 to the frequency before, which is 0, is equal to 10. And for the difference of the most frequent value and the frequency above it, so we have 8. Why? The most frequent value is 10 and the frequency above it is 2. Then you subtract. for the interval, you have to subtract the upper class limit to the lower class limit and then add 1. So we have 2,550. Substitute all the values into the equation. So we have 749.50 plus a quantity of 10 all over 10 plus 1 times 2,550. So we have the mode of 2,166.70 yen when simplified. And so, this implies that the most frequent amount deposited in a bank for a day is 2,166.17. Now, let me check your understanding about the lesson this day. As you can see, the table is already completed. All you have to do is to substitute the important values which are needed in the equation. A time of 30 seconds is allotted for you.
Ready? Go!
Okay, so try to check if you obtain the correct answer. Okay? First, you have to get the summation of the product between the midpoint and the frequency for each class interval. So we have 663 plus 995.50 plus 1,128 plus 2,552.50 plus 366. And then we have 5,705 pesos. And then divide this by 50 for the total number of students. Okay, so the quotient is equal to 114.10. This indicates that the average daily allowance of the selected grade 10 students is 114.10. Next, we have to look for the mode of the dataset using the same group data. Okay, but don't forget to apply the formula of the mode. LB plus the quantity of df sub B all over df sub B plus df sub A times I. Okay, so are you ready? Your timer begins now. Okay, so try to check if your answer is correct. Okay, first we have to look for the highest frequency, which is equal to 16. So this means that the most frequent daily allowance is found in this class interval or allowance interval, okay, between 61 to 80. So the lower boundary is equal to 60.50. Next, look for the difference between the most frequent and the frequency before. 16 minus 5 is equal to 11. For the difference between the most frequent and the frequency above, so we have 16 minus 11 is equal to 5. And then I, so you simply subtract the upper class limit to the lower class limit plus 1. Okay, so which is equal to 20. And then apply the important values into the equation. So we have 60.50 plus the quantity of 11 all over 11 plus 5 times 20. Okay, you simplify. And then the mode is equal to 74.50. Okay, so this means that the most frequent daily allowance of the selected grade 10 students is 74.50. For the last 30 seconds in this activity, we are going to compute for the median, okay? But I'm going to use the second quartile of the measures of position, but you could also use the 5th decile or the 50th percentile because we can still get the same answer, okay? So the formula is LB plus the quantity of Kn over 4 minus Cf sub B all over F sub Q sub 2 times the I. Are you ready? Okay, so your timer starts now. Okay, so try to confirm if you got, okay, the correct response this time. Okay, so we have to look for the prerequisite values required in the equation. So we have k is equal to 2, kn over 4, which is our locator, is equal to 25th. So this means that the middle value lies in this allowance interval, okay, ranging from 61 to 80 pesos. Then we have the LB, which is equal to 60.50, and the cumulative frequency before, where the middle value lies or located, is equal to 17. And for the frequency, where the second quartile or the middle value lies, is equal to 16. And then I is equal to 20. And then let us substitute all the important values into the equation. So we have 60.50 plus the quantity of 25 minus 17 over 16 times 20. And then simplify. So the median yields to 70.50 pesos. Okay, so this means that the middle value or the middle daily allowance of the selected grade 10 students is 70.50. Or we can say that 50% of the students got the daily allowance of at most 70.50 pesos. Okay? Now the discussion has ended for a while. You have to work for the 4 learning tasks today. Okay, first you have to complete the table. Okay, so the table shows the frequency distribution of the number of hours spent for a week testing messages on a cell phone by 60 grade 10 students at Camp Vicente Lim Integrated School during the Enhanced Community Quarantine or ECQ. For the learning task number 2, using the essential values that you have computed in learning task number 1, solve for the mean, median, and mode, which are the measures of central tendency. Third learning task, describe or interpret the computed value for the mean, median, and mode discovered at learning task number 2. And for the last learning task, contact your 50 gamer students and make a survey on the hours they spent in a day playing computer games. What to do? First, collect and tabulate the collected data. Second, create a table that includes the essential values for computing the mean, median, and the mode. Third, interpret the data based on either mean, median, or mode. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope that you learned so much from this, finding the measures of central tendency. Okay, for the reflection, so you have to write the things you have learned. And if you have your insights about the topic this day, so you have to write it. Okay, and your difficulties as well, together with the unforgettable experience while doing your activities this day. Okay, so once again, our topic or our discussion is not possible without the help of these references. Okay, bye-bye time for a while. Thank you very much for watching and listening in this video. Once again, I am your teacher Joy, your 24/7 public servant. Don't forget to send in all your outputs or answers in any of my accounts, okay? If you have any clarification or confusions about the topic today, so don't forget to call me or message me in this number. Okay, bye and God bless.